Okay, hello everyone. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. To create is fun. To create is fun. Where I will post videos related to IGCSE First Language English 0500. And today's topic is directed writing paper 2. So everything related to directed writing paper 2 will be fully explained. Though, in today's video, instead of extended exercise, I will only provide you with mini exercise because I believe the explanation later will take a bit of your time already. Alright, before we begin, I would like to say hello also to viewers from Malaysia because recently I noticed there are some viewers of my YouTube channel in particular coming or accessing this video from Malaysia. So, hi everyone from Malaysia, hi everyone from Indonesia, and I'm really hoping that my video can be watched by people all around the world. Okay, without further ado, let's just begin. So these are some of the items that we will cover in today's video. Number one is the look of the question and its components. Number two, why is it important to master this particular skill? Number three, I will go with explanation and mini exercise itself. Okay, first item on the list, the look of the question and its components. Okay, so for your information here in the examination, you'll be given with two different texts. Okay, text 1 and text 2, which links could be found in the description. Okay, I strongly encourage before we begin our the whole discussion, it's best for you to read both of the texts first. Okay. Okay, now I would like to encourage you to pause the video, take your time to read both of the texts, to be able to keep up with the whole discussion right after this. Okay, pause the video now. I believe you have finished reading both of the texts. Now let's proceed to the look of the question itself. Okay, so like I said previously, in the examination you'll be given with two different texts, and right after that it will be followed by the question itself. Okay, the question pretty much looks similar to this. Okay, let's read it together. Write a letter as one of parents to the author of text 1. In your letter, you should include or you should evaluate the attitudes and opinions about social medias in each of texts. Give your own views based on what you have heard about social medias. Base your letters on what you have read in both of texts, but be careful to use your own words. Address both of bullet points. Write about 250 to 350 words. Okay? Let's take a look at every single one of the component, okay, or element. Element number one, types of writing. For your information, in directed writing paper 2, the type of writing required might include letter, article, or speech. Right now, we go with a letter as one of the examples, okay? But remember, it is not only limited to a letter. Instead, it would also include article and speech, okay? And remember, there are two different types of letters, okay? First is formal and second is informal letters. Okay. Element number two, context and audience. Okay. One of parents. So here the context is you becoming one of those parents out there. And here you're writing to the author of text one, expressing your thoughts on social medias. Okay. So here, why does it matter for us to notice the context and the audience? Here, the audience is the author of text one. Okay, because again, different context, different audience will affect the kind of register and style that we will use. Okay, right now, since you become one of those parents out there, and you write a letter to author of an article, so ideally you will make a good use of formal register and the more advanced vocabulary and style. Okay, because this is formal relationship, formal communications that you're having with stranger. Author of text one, you have no idea. You have no idea about the author of text one. Okay, you are strangers to one another, so ideally you go with formal registrant styles. Okay, and here element number three, it says evaluate. What it means by evaluate? Evaluate means calculate and reason how something is bad or good. In this case, social medias. Okay, after reading the text about social medias, you have to calculate about those things that you have read on social medias, how it is bad, how it is good, and provide the reasons why it is bad or why it is good. Okay, that's what it means by evaluate. Okay, element number four is give your own views. Your own views means you have to decide from the beginning. Do you advocate for the items discussed in this matter? Is social media? Do you advocate for social media? Or are you against social media? Or you feel neutral about it? So what is your view on this one? Okay. All right. I believe you start to get the ideas. Okay. To clarify things, the point of the question is this. Take a look at the one inside the pink box here. Students are expected to express their opinions on matters presented, in this case, social media. So, in this case, you as a students are expected to express your thoughts on social medias by selecting suitable ideas from both of texts, which assist them to build their arguments. Okay, so if I am a student, I would first, form my opinion in my mind first, okay? Whether I agree, disagree, or feel neutral about social media or any other things presented, okay? So the first thing as a student, I would decide first from beginning. What is my attitude? What is my opinion towards items discussed, towards social medias in this case? Okay, after deciding, oh, I think I would agree with the use of social media. I would advocate for the use of social media. Number two, this is what I have to do. I will choose ideas from both of the texts, which will help me build my opinion. Remember, you need to express your opinions. So you have to choose some ideas from both of the texts, the ones that will help you to formulate your opinion. Okay, so you could choose any of those ideas as long as you think it will help you to formulate your ideas with clarity. Okay, so you will discover many different kind of ideas there. You will discover many notions there. You just simply choose several of them that you think will help you to make your point. Okay, after that, you develop those chosen notions into one effective response within the context. In this case, you're pretending to be one of those parents out there, and you are pretending that you are writing a letter to the author of text one. Okay, so again, if I'm a student, number one, I would form my opinion first. I will decide from the beginning whether I agree, disagree, or feel neutral about social media. Okay, and after that, I start choosing some of the ideas from the text that I will use to make my opinion, to build my own opinion. After I'm choosing several ideas from the text, I will combine them. I will develop them into one effective response. Okay, I'm really hoping I clarify things for you. Okay, next, section number two. Why mastering directed writing paper 2 skill is important. There are two main reasons. The first one, this skill, taking several ideas and synthesizing them into one essay, will help you in other subjects. For example, sociology or biology or geography. Okay, the point is this will help you to write essay where you take some ideas from multiple resources and you combine them into one good essay. Okay, so the first reason here has something to do with other subjects as well. It is really important for you to master this so that your grades in some other subjects also can improve. Number two, this skill will help you express your opinion with clarity since it is presented in organized manner and reasons. Okay, a lot of people out there struggle to get their messages across. Okay, this might lead to some misunderstanding or conflict. A lot of conflict or violence out there could be generated because people feel frustrated. They cannot get their messages across with clarity. For that reasons, they start using violence. But here you will learn an effective way of expressing your opinions with clarity in organized manner. So people will understand the reason you choose certain thing. Okay? Alright. Section number 3. Explanation and mini exercise. Let's take a look at this, everyone. Alright, before we touch the question, elements, and explanation, before I elaborate everything, these are some important information that you need to know first. Okay, important prior knowledge one must know. There are three different approaches so far that I know, which you can take in order to write your essay. You can take argumentative approach. What do I mean by argumentative approach? It means your essay later will persuade by presenting a clear and logical argument supported by evidence such as statistics, facts, and research. Okay, so again, your essay, if your essay take argumentative approach, you will likely persuade your audience by providing supported evidence such as statistics, facts, and research. Okay, so uh, it is likely for you to persuade them by using these three things: statistic, facts, and research, or maybe statement of experts. Okay, so you kind of approach this from logical point of view here using logic. Okay, the second approach is discursive approach. You could also write your essay by using discursive approach. What do I mean by discursive approach? You explore pro and cons of certain matter. For example, social medias, without strongly side with one of them. So you just provide some consideration from pro and cons related to certain matter. You're not really siding with one of them particularly. You just provide some consideration so people can pretty much make their own judgment. Okay, so you are taking neutral position. If you take discursive approach, it means you're being neutral. You do not side with one of the point of view. You do not agree, you do not disagree. You just simply provide what's good, what's bad, and let them judge by themselves. Okay, lastly, we have persuasive approach. If you decide to write your essay with persuasive approach, you persuade the readers, quite similar with number one. You try to persuade the readers to follow you, to side with you, but the kind of evidence that you provide is something to do with emotion, ethics, and logic. See, take a look at here. Number one and number three are quite similar to one another. Both of them are trying to persuade the readers or the audience to side with you. Okay, but what makes them different are the kind of evidence they will provide. If argumentative approach will provide with evidence which includes statistics, facts, and research, while persuasive approach will include something that has something to do with emotion, ethics, and logic. Okay, more personal. So number three is more personal. Okay, all right. I'm hoping by this far I clarify things. Okay, let's move forward. Yeah, let's get back to the question itself. Again, if previously you haven't been able to read the question, it is not the question. I apologize. If previously you haven't been able to read the texts, please pause the video right now. Without reading the text, I don't think it is possible for you to keep up with the whole discussion. Okay? Alright, because again, the discussion right after this will touch the content of the text itself. Okay? Here, let's get back to the question. Okay, write a letter as one of those parents out there to the author of text 1. In your letter, you should evaluate the attitudes and opinions about social medias in each of the texts. Give your own views based on what you have read about social medias. Base your letter on what you have read in both of texts, but be careful to use your own words. Address both of the bullet points. Write about 250 to 350 words. Okay, so for your information here, like I said, you can write your essay by choosing one of these approaches. Okay, one of these approaches you can just simply write by using argumentative approach, discursive approach, or persuasive approach. But sometimes, remember this, sometimes the questions specifically require you to use one particular approach. So if the question says that you have to take discursive approach, remember you cannot side with one of them. Instead, you just simply provide with pro and cons and let your audience decide it by themselves. So you're taking neutral position. Okay, remember that. Okay, so if you discover this type of question, what to do? Okay, the first one, circle the important components on the question paper. Here, instead of circling, I underline them. Okay, here a letter, one of parents to the author, which is the context, evaluate, attitudes and opinions. I should have also underlined social medias. This is the items that we will discuss, okay? And your own view, okay? All right, the first thing you have to do is to circle or underline the important components on the question paper. Why? To prevent you from forgetting or missing any important detail. For example, if you do not circle the context, you might miss the context and lead you to write different kind of writing or different kind of situation, writing for different kind of situations, which the style is different from what's expected, and at the end it will affect your score. Okay, after you circle those important information on the question, number two, actively peruse the text, investigating on who writes the text. Okay, so you've got two different texts, right? You try to investigate who could possibly write text one, who could possibly write text two. Again, it's not going to be stated explicitly there. What you have to do, just simply infer from the content. Okay, and then apart from investigating or infer the writer of the texts, you try to investigate also on what their attitude is like towards the matter discussed. In this case, social medias. What is their attitude? Are they against social media? Are they supporting social media? Are they neutral about social media? So after reading, you try to see the attitude. And lastly, you need to also investigate what they are implying through the text, what they are trying to say. Are they giving certain message behind the text or not? So when you actively read the text, by considering these factors, I strongly encourage you to leave annotation on the next to the reading text itself. Okay, so you can write the attitude, for example, the attitude from this article. The writer pretty much is against social medias because it is briefly, it is clear that here the author supports the use of social media because the author works with social media, for example. Something you infer. Okay. All right. After that, number three, decide your stance. Decide your position and approach you would like to take on that matter. Remember the approach and your positions, whether you agree, disagree, or neutral about the matter discussed. And then whether you would like to go with argumentative, persuasive, or discursive approach. You decide first in your mind. Okay, number one, you circle the important components. Number two, you actively read the text by investigating also who could possibly write the text, what their attitude is toward the item discussed, and then what they are trying to say from their text, from their writing. Okay. Number three, you decide your position and approach that you would like to use in your essay. Number four, you select two notions from text A and two notions from text B, which you think can help you make a point. Remember, the point of this the point of this discussion is for you to express your opinion on social medias or some other things. Okay, you need to be able to express your argument about social medias, right? So it's best for you to choose notions that you think have something to do with your opinion. Two from text A, two from text B. So the total number of notions that you have to select from both of the texts are four. Total are four. Two from text A, two from text B. Okay, those are step number 1 until 4. Okay, step number 5, write a brief plan if necessary, or you can just simply plan your essay in your mind. Right after that, synthesize your notions into effective writing by including important features and strategies. Remember, here you're required to write a letter. So ideally, you go with features of letter. Okay, remember starting from salutation and so on and so forth. Okay, strategies. Here, formal writing, formal letter. Okay, so ideally you will strategize by using formal register. Okay, next we have application of the steps. Previously, yeah, I shared a bit of the steps itself, but I would like to show you the application of the step itself to for you to be able to see the tangible things. Okay, so here. Again, step number 1, circle those important components on the question paper. Instead of circling, I did underline the components here, right here. I underline the letter, one of parents to the author of text, and so on and so forth. Okay, actively peruse the text and investigating who writes the text. Okay, I would like you to pause the video right now. I would like you to pause the video and try to come up with your own answer. Who do you think write text 1? Who do you think write text 2? Okay, and what it is their attitude towards social media. Okay, for example, text 1, the author of text 1, are they against social media? Are they trying to say something from their writing? What about the author of text 2? Are they trying to support social media? Okay, try to infer. I would like you to pause the video before I can show you my answer. Okay, what are the authors trying to say from both of the texts? Okay, what are they implying? What are they implying related to social medias? Pause the video now. Okay. All right. So these are my answers. According to me, the author of text one might be an academic writer, since it is a formal article on a website providing data and statement of experts. You can see here the author seems like an academic writer. Is it true? We don't know, but we can assume from the tools we discover uh, within the reading text itself, right? And their attitude, if you notice, if you observe closely, their attitude rather against social media. So they're rather against social medias. Okay, and then the message they are trying to get across is they imply that parents and teenagers need to actively take part in preventing negative consequences. Okay, so if you notice previously, the articles say discuss many things about negativity and supported by some research, data, and statement of experts. And then at the end, the author provides us with some tips for parents and teenagers. So we can assume that the author want the parents and teenagers to actively take part in preventing these negative consequences. And then we can assume also their attitude is rather against social media. Okay, how do you know the author is rather against social media? Because was provided there mostly negativity. Okay, so it seems to me, okay, it would be logical that the author is rather against the social media use. Okay, what about text 2? Text 2 here, the writer of text 2 might be an employee in a social media based company. Okay, and their attitude towards social media, they imply that society focuses too much on negative sides of social media as well. In fact, there are many positive sides of social media itself. Okay, you can take a look at how do I know? That's the kind of attitude the author has towards social medias because, as you can see, predominantly the text covers everything good about social media, which is quite the opposite compared to the text number one. Okay, I'm hoping I clarify things for you, especially about attitude and then the message the author is trying to get across from both of the texts. Again, if you find certain thing hazy, you can just simply repeat the video and listen to my explanation all over again. All right, that was step number one and step number two. Let's continue. Okay, step number three, decide your stance and approach. Decide your position and approach you would like to use on that matter in your essay later. Okay, so decide your position. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you feel neutral? And the kind of approach you would like to use, is it discursive, argumentative, or persuasive? Okay, think about it now. Think about it. Pause the video and think about it first. All right, I share my view on step number three. I personally myself go with I choose to be one of those parents who would agree with author of text number one. So it means I'm rather against social media, not fully against social media, but rather against social media. Okay, but is it okay that you actually support the social media? It is okay. It's up to you. The point is you will think about it from your perspective, but you pretend to be one of those parents out there. Okay? Right. So it is okay for you, for example, if your position is you choose to be one of those parents who are open-minded and fully support the use of social medias. That is okay, right? As long as you can provide reasons and explanation. Next, step number four. Select two notions from text A and two notions from text B, which you think can help you make a point. Okay, so for example, like this, if my positions right now would agree with author of the text number one, which is slightly against social media, I will choose some of the ideas that will help me express my disagreement of using social medias, for example. Okay, so here, if this is my position, ideally, I will go with these notions. So these are some notions I took from text one. According to Utah Senate website, since 2010, rates of depression and mental health crisis in American teens have nearly doubled. Create a family media plan, have open discussion as a family about rules. And then notions from text 2, you can reach out to new connection and start developing relationship with them. News from just about any part of the world can spread. Okay, so if this is my position, I think these notions are the ones that will help me build my opinion. But if you would like to choose different notion, that's completely up to you. The point is you express your thoughts with clarity. Okay, all right. Next, step number five, write a brief plan if necessary and synthesize your notions into one effective writing by including important features and strategies. Okay, I would like you to try to write your own plan. Very brief, it doesn't have to be sophisticated, but at least it shows me, it shows you, I apologize, it shows you what's going to be inside paragraph number one, what's going to be inside paragraph number two, and so on and so forth. Okay, remember you have four notions. You may change the order. There is no fixated order. You can just pretty much mix and match as long as you make one cogent argument. Okay, again, pause the video right now, write your own brief plan. Okay, I'll just simply assume that you have written your plan. Let's compare it with mine, and I'm hoping you would take some insight from my plan here. Again, when it comes to plan, it is very optional. If you think you can just simply plan everything in your mind, that's completely fine. But most of the time, students find it easier for them to see the tangible things. Okay, my plan might look as follows. Okay, so in my plans, I remind myself that it is a letter as a parent. So I write it here, it's formal. I remind myself here in my plan. Use of features of letters, I remind myself here also in my plan. This is something that I will write in my question paper before beginning my essay. Letter as a parent, formal, use of the features of letters. Paragraph number one, brief opening as a context. Again, brief opening as a context is very optional, but I like to use this one to help clarify things as well. And paragraph number two, development and evaluation of notion one. Paragraph three, development and evaluation of notion number two. Paragraph four is development and evaluation of notion three and four. See, there is no fixated order or combination or composition. You can just pretty much mix and match everything. So if you notice here, notion 1 is separated in one paragraph, notion 2 is separated in one paragraph, but notion 3 and 4 are combined together, which is completely fine as long as you make a cogent argument. And paragraph 5, brief closing statement. Again, brief closing statement, brief opening are very optionals. Some of the YouTube channels out there pretty much say it's not necessary for you to have brief opening nor closing, but I feel like it helps with the clarity when you have the opening and closing. But you have to make sure it has to be brief because it doesn't contribute to your grades in general. Okay? Yeah. This is one important note. Order might vary. You could change the order up to you. It doesn't have to necessarily start with notion number one. It could be started with notion three and four, or any way possible, as long as you provide cogent argument with some cohesion and coherence. Okay, it is logical. You express your opinion in logical way. When people read it, they clearly understand your position and clearly understand the reasons behind it. Okay, awesome. Next, before I'm showing my final writing, okay, I'm hoping you would pause the video and make an attempt to write your response first, following the principle I've shared from the beginning. Okay, so right after this, I'm going to show you my letter. That is the response to this question, a letter as one of parents to the offer of text one. It could be parents who agree with the offer, or parents who disagree or feel neutral about opinions stated by author of text number one here. Okay, I'm going to show you my letter right after this, my formal letter with some strategies. But before that, I'm really hoping you pause the video, make an attempt first, try to write your own letter, pretending to be one of those parents out there, whether you agree or disagree. Elaborate your point there, like with some development and evaluation. Okay? All right. I believe you have written your response. Let's take a look at mine. So here, your letter may look as follows. Dear author, okay, I put number one here. It is a feature of a letter, salutation, right? I'm writing you this letter to express my opinion as a parent after reading your article. Number two here, a brief opening as a context. Again, this is very optional, but I like to use it to help with clarity and order. Okay, here, first of all, your article highlights a crucial issue that many parents need to be aware of. Crucial. Evaluation. I make a judgment. Oh, it's crucial. Oh, it's good. It's bad. Okay, it's functional. It is effective. It helps people. Okay, this is an example of evaluation, example of making a judgment. Your article highlights a crucial issue that many parents need to be aware of. As I read it, this is an example of transition to help with the flow. I was aghast to discover that the rates of depression and mental health issues among adolescents have doubled since 2010, largely due to the explosion of social media, as you mentioned. So here number 6, the whole underlined part or part of number 6 are development of notion 1. Yeah, I just took a little bit of notion of number 1 and I developed them by using my own words. If you compare with the previous text, this is saying exactly the same thing, but with my own words, with also some addition from my own perspective. Okay, so like the question requested previously, you have to include also your opinion. You do not only reproduce what's stated in the both of the text. Instead, you reproduce them and you add your opinion into it as well. Let's take a look at this one. The lofty expectation regarding body image have placed tremendous pressure on our children. They begin to shape their thoughts around the number of likes or positive comments they can receive without truly understanding the true value of being a human being. As a result, they may unknowingly harm themselves, for example, by resorting to an extreme diets just to gain the attention of the crowd. See, if you notice, the idea, the fundamental idea is taken from text number 1, but the development was originally from my ideas. Okay, so some of them are taken from the text, some of them are added based on my own point of view. Okay, so this is my first paragraph. Okay, I believe you start to get the idea. Oh, yes, I'm expressing my thoughts on social media while pretending to be a parent. Again, you could agree, you could disagree, or you could be neutral about something. Next, this is the continuation of the letter. I fully support your statement that a family needs to establish ground rules regarding social media. Here, number 7 here, your opinion. Your opinion, you fully support it, and it is also evaluation. Okay, when you state I fully support it, you are saying that you agree, right? Here, so it is an evaluation with the statement. Okay, I fully support your statement that a family needs to establish ground rules regarding social media. By doing so, it allows parents to prevent the undesirable influence of social media from harming their children. These rules will also serve as guidelines for children to follow in order to express themselves through social media. This, in turn, can establish reciprocal communication between parents and their children, providing essential barriers against uncertainties of the online world. Okay, number 8 here, the development of notion number 2. So the idea was originated from the text number 1, but the whole development is predominantly my own words with some addition of my own opinion. Okay, number 9, your evaluation. Okay, essential, I provide judgment here. However, let's continue. There is one significant point you neglected to mention. Parents should not focus solely on negative side of social media as this could lead to panic. Okay, now what we have in number 10 here, your evaluation. There is one significant point you neglected to mention. So you kind of disagree, you kind of criticize. That's part of evaluation as well. So when you evaluate, you calculate whether something good or bad, whether you agree or not, and some reasons, and you provide reasons. So here you kind of criticize um, the fact that the author do not mention this, and you provide the reasons why. Okay, so this is part of your evaluation as well. Number 11, your opinions and implied attitude from text number 2. Remember, text number 2 imply that we should not only focus on negative side of social media, right? So I integrate the attitude, the implied messages of the author into my own response as well here. However, there is one significant point you neglected to mention. Parents should not focus solely on negative side of social media as this could lead to panic. Here, this is the implied message from text number 2. You can get back to text number 2 and try to make a judgment by yourself. Does text number 2 imply that many people or many parents focus too much on negative side of social medias, while in fact there are many positive sides of social media as well. Okay, try to get back to text 2 to make sure that I'm taking the right message. Okay, all right, let's continue. Panic here. It is important for all of us to acknowledge the undeniable fact that social media opens the gates to an unlimited network, allowing everyone to connect with people from any part of the world to establish friendships, romances, or professional relationships. Additionally, information and news are more accessible than ever before. Children, in the sense, meaning students, can access information related to their studies such as research, scholarships, or books even if they live in a remote area. This fosters greater equality in distribution of education, which was once a conundrum. Okay, so here, if you notice, number 13 here, the whole paragraph is the combination of development of notion 3 and 4. So notion 3 and 4 are combined here within this one particular paragraph because they are related to one another. I do not separate them into two different paragraphs. Instead, I combine them. Okay. Number 14, I appreciate your reminder that both parents and children need to take active roles in order to harness the potential of social medias without being consumed by it. Best regards, your reader. Here, number 14 is closing statement. Like I said, this is very optional. But at the same time, if you notice, in the closing statement here, I include also the implied message from text number 1. Remember the implied message from text number 1, the author is trying to remind us that parents can do something about it, teenagers can do something about it. Let's take a look at my closing statement one more time. I appreciate your reminder that both parents and children need to take active role. See, this is the implied message from text 1. So I include the implied message from text 1 into my own response here to make it more effective and impactful. Okay. Best regards. This is a feature of a letter. Your reader. Okay. So here, let's take a look at the question one more time. Write a letter as one of parents to the author of text 1. In your letter, you should evaluate the attitudes and opinion about social medias in each of the texts. Give your own views based on what you have read about social medias. Okay, so from this question into this response. You can pause the video to read the whole effective response and try to make your own judgment. Okay, try to make your own judgment whether this response pretty much evaluate the attitude and the opinions about social medias, whether this response provide own views. Okay, right? This is the effective response. And this is what you have to do. Okay. Try to recall what are some steps to answer this sub question. Again, pause the video without looking at the video. You try to recall of the things that you have learned from this video. What are some steps that you have to follow? What is step number 1? What is step number 2? And so on and so forth. Number 2, do not overwork yourself. Take a break, guys. You're a human. And get off gadgets. Do not just simply focus on your laptop or mobile phone. Interact with humans, with your parents, your friends, okay? And lastly, please also pray. You've worked so hard to complete it, add prayers into it, okay? And if you think my video is a blessing for you, then be a blessing for others, okay? Subscribe to my channel, spread the information about my channel to create is fun. Bye everyone. Thank you.